Welcome to NNN News, the only unbiased, unfiltered, unplugged news podcast. This podcast will cover current events as well as deep dives into more obscure topics. As always, I'm joined by my friend and co-host, Neville Croft.
This podcast is so real, ravenous, and raw that Twitter decided to ban our accounts.
Today's show, we have a very special guest, Jessica, a longtime friend and colleague. Be sure to subscribe for more videos as they come along. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers as soon as we can, so your subscriptions are appreciated. But that is enough blabbering. Let's get into the news. Welcome, Jessica, to the show. It's really great to have you.
Well, thank you, Norm and Neville, for having me. I watch your podcast every single episode, and I'm excited to be a part of your podcast this week.
Yeah,
Pleasure to have you aboard, comrade.
It really is a pleasure to have you aboard. And, it's been a pretty historic, week because I don't know if you guys knew, but this week we had National Coming Out Day on the 11th. Now, I know a lot of us celebrate National Coming Out Day. Did you do anything for National Coming Out Day, Jessica?
Yes, I have celebrated with my family. I got some vegan burgers on the grill, and we just had a fun time.
Well, that sounds delish, really. So, National Coming Out Day is pretty awesome. It doesn't matter what part of the JLGBTQ you are. There's something for you to enjoy with National Coming Out Day. But something that I think we're missing out on is maybe people should be allowed to come out more than once. Because what's the fun of having one coming out party when you can have two or three? What do you guys think?
I mean, Jessica, you've had to come out twice already. You've had to come out as a person of size to many people, and also as a transgender person.
Right. I feel, we have the National Coming Out Day. I also feel like we should have, our own day, kind of like a birthday, except for our own personal coming out day, such as I came out on February 15th, and I feel like that's my own personal coming out day for each year. So I feel everybody should have their own.
Oh,
That's a brilliant idea.
One of the interesting things for National Coming Out Day is that, you have to sort of realize that some people need to have more attention paid on them when they come out than others. For example, like a straight gay man shouldn't get as much attention as, for example, a transgender woman or something. So she deserves more attention for her coming out day. I think that's a really great way to do it. Have everyone have their own little personal coming out celebrations every year. The only thing I'm a little worried about is that this is going to turn into the whole gender reveal party thing, where people start burning down forests with these coming out day parties. What do you guys think?
I think obviously this is something that needs to be policed to make sure, obviously, that we don't get bad actors and trolls taking advantage of such a wonderful, momentous occasion. So obviously, yes, we need to make sure that the ones coming out are indeed approved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I have to agree with that. Yeah, it needs to be policed heavily.
Yeah, I definitely think you guys are right. One of the things,
obviously not by the real police, though.
Yeah,
Maybe
no, of course,
the postal services, perhaps.
By the postal service or like a coming out commission or something like that.
The coming out committee.
Yeah, the coming out committee. I think we really need to establish this.
We could maybe have like a journalist branch that maybe approves people that come out.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like Kevin Spacey is not allowed to come out of the closet as gay, but Richard Broadman could be gay, right? Like that'd be okay.
It's like we have the POC verification test. We have the JLGBT verification test.
Yeah, the coming out committee. I think that's a totally great idea. And it's one of those things where you guys are saying, obviously, we don't want the real police to be policing this. We need community policing. And some of the people who are headlining for community policing and who are fighting for this are the witches. Are you guys into any of you guys Wiccans or witches here?
A witch myself. I know that you are a witch, though, and I found it very brave and empowering that you did come out as that.
Yeah, I am a witch. And I'm not alone. There's a lot of modern day witches. I've done multiple stories on this. There's a lot of modern day witches who are coming about, and you know what they're doing? They're the people who gave Trump COVID, right? They're they're trying to take down this fascist leader. You know, it's almost it's the witches are almost our last hope to get rid of Trump at this point. And they're hexing him constantly. You know, it's really a great movement. So many witches were hexing Trump that we're trying to figure out which one of them did it, right? That gave him COVID.
It
I
wasn't
mean,
you by any chance, was it, Norm?
well, I don't hex and tell, right? I may have hexed. Okay, sure. I did do a couple hexes on Trump to try to give him COVID. Okay, but I don't know if it was me. I mean, I hope I
I
did.
think it was you.
You think it? I'd be happy with that. I think if I was the witch who
So we
did
need
it,
to write an article on that it was actually an approved journalist witch that did this.
yeah, I really hope it is. We need to find more ways to mobilize these sort of magical comrades and, teach them, right? Teach people like, Jessica, maybe you're not a witch now, but would you want to be a witch? Would this something you want to become?
I think that'll be something I would be very interested in. I have high respects for witches, especially the ones that did the hexes on Trump with the COVID.
Yeah. I really, I think we're going to get a witch school going together, figure this out. And these are the same witches. They don't just hex Trump, they also hex cops. There were a lot of articles about that. Let's just hope that there's not going to be some sort of a counter hex by Trump's like occult people, because we know in the government we have people who their entire job is to run counter hexes for the president. It's like a branch of the Secret Service. It's been
I,
dossiers and stuff.
I can already imagine them now, like little men in little white pointy hats around a campfire. Should maybe try to even hex Joe Biden. I mean, like, they could be trying that as we speak.
Yeah, keep in mind, guys. Any any witch who supports Donald Trump is not a real witch. Okay, they're a warlock. There's a pretty big difference. So, if you want to be part of this coven that I'm starting here, it's an online coven. Just DM me on Discord, and I'll get you in. We're going to be teaching classes on how to hex, and yeah, you'll get to learn everything you need to know on how to take down fascists with magic. And the future is now. Uh,
The
you know,
future is witchcraft.
the future is witchcraft. One of the things that scares me, we were talking about hexing police officers. It's just the amount of power that these police are being given. You know, these Portland police are making quote unquote blanket arrests. Just after these protests start. Like it seems like there's almost no way to stop them at this point.
To me, this is it's a classic case of textbook fascism.
Yeah, it's one of those things where these are all American traditions. Protesting, getting reparations. There's a long-standing history in America of protests, and the fact that these police want to quell these is so sad. And they're peaceful, right? These are almost all peaceful protests.
Well,
And
it's all peaceful protests.
yeah,
It's not
all
almost all. Every single protest that we see is peaceful.
yeah, like you said, every single one.
Right. It just seems wrong how people of color can't even have a voice in this country.
Yeah, it's sad, and it's sad that for these people of color to have a voice, we need to stand up for them, right? And these
Right.
racist
Now, when
people.
it's Black History Month, we're not seeing the change that we need right now.
Is it Black History Month?
Well, it is over here in the UK. I'm not sure if it is over in
I don't think we do Black
your end.
History Month in October. We should. I think we should do. You know what? I'm going to say it right here. October is Black History Month. November is Black History Month. Make every month Black History Month.
Well, I don't know if we should go that far. We definitely maybe like a journalist history month, something like that.
Okay,
Maybe like transgender history month.
Okay, we'll cut out a
that kind
couple
of
of
stuff.
months out of there, but like every month should be history for somebody, right?
Correct.
Yeah, some oppressed minority.
I mean, you're kind of just being a fascist if you disagree with that. You know, and if we're talking about fascists, there's no bigger fascist move than trying to keep money away from the poor, right?
Right.
And
Exactly.
if you don't know this, the stimulus checks, they're currently being held up by Republicans right now. in Congress because they know these stimulus checks are going to go right to the poor and do some actual help, and they can't handle that, right? It's
This just goes to show how the Republican Party, I'm just gonna say it now. They are evil.
they're they're evil. They're scary. I mean, it's clear that this is election meddling because this money Biden deserves this money, right?
Right.
Yes.
I mean, Biden needs this money more than we need food.
I mean, hexes. Can we do like a positive hex for Biden?
It's not called a counter hex. It's called a protection spell. Yeah, I cast protection spells on Biden every day. I think that's why Biden didn't get the COVID-19
Oh, that
from
would
the
make
debate.
sense.
You know, obviously he wears a mask, so I cast a mask protection spell on him every day. Every day I'm at my altar. Working for Biden just as much as I'm working against Trump. I mean, that's just how it goes.
Now that is magical.
It really is, isn't it? You know, it's I have to wonder with Amy coming in, how are we going to ever expect anything to change? I mean, for me, Amy's just
Amy's not a real woman. She's not a real woman.
yeah. I have to agree with you. I mean, she's coming in here and she's taking away women's rights, and she says that the Supreme Court's not his job is not to make policy, which makes no sense because last time I checked, that literally is her job description. The Supreme Court's job is to dictate policy, make sure everything's above board, all that.
Can we just have her seat just like permanently for Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
Yeah, right. Just
Is
let
that too much to ask?
it's like we should let dead people vote in the election. We should let Ruth Bader Ginsburg vote post mortem, right? I don't understand
Exactly.
what the
I
problem with that
agree.
would be.
I mean, surely as a witch, maybe you could come along, or maybe some other approved witch could just speak to the dead and just ask Ruth her opinions on stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a fair idea. We, allow seances in the Supreme Court. What's wrong with that? I think we
Exactly.
need to expand the Constitution. I think obviously Supreme Court justices are justice for life. Well, they should be justice for life and death, assuming that they're Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I don't think there's anything wrong with allowing soothsayers or what have you to perform seances to make Supreme Court decisions.
It's like if Biden is as president, which we all know he will be,
Yeah,
if anything bad is ever to happen to him, we should just let him be. Well, it'd be the first dead president actually serving.
yeah, I agree. I got to ask you, Jessica, what do you think some of the dangers might be if Barrett gets in?
If Barrett gets in, I think it's a world of trouble for women all across the country. I feel that she will make abortion illegal to start off, which is hurting women's choices, including my own. And I feel like that's just the tip of the iceberg. She's probably going to not, um, you know, punish people for using hate speech and just a whole lot of stuff. I can't even really. My mind's just.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm.
it's okay. It's okay, Jessica.
As
It's
someone
okay.
who's frequently at the abortion clinic, Jessica, I mean, I'm horrified. You might not be able to get the human right that you should be afforded to have the abortion.
Yeah,
I know.
it's okay, Jessica. It's
Jessica,
okay.
please don't cry. This is a safe
Okay,
space.
Jessica.
Okay.
It's okay.
I'm trying to compose myself here, so I apologize to not just you two, but to the audience as well.
It's okay.
It's all right.
The other
We're
thing.
we're safe here. We're safe.
Not to bring more doom and gloom here, but the other thing I'm worried about is that Barrett might criminalize gay marriage. I mean, who knows? Because she's clearly, and what we're going to talk about this later in the show, shown contempt for the homosexuals by using homosexual slurs repeatedly in court. And we'll get to the
What
details
what
of that
what
later in the
slur does
show.
she use?
She said sexual preference. Can you believe that?
Whoa!
I mean, that's just
Whoa,
That's
textbook.
that's
offensive.
barbaric.
That's textbook homophobia, and it has been for at least a week, right? You know, it's
The
in the
18th
dictionary,
century called. They want Amy Coney Barrett back.
right? This is classic homophobia. It's sad. You know, we need to just postpone the whole Barrett situation. Just let Biden pick the next Supreme Court justice. We'll just hold off on all that and just filibuster, right? If we have to, we'll just filibuster it. You know,
Jessica, what are your thoughts on Biden potentially packing the court?
I'm fine with that. I feel like if the Democratic Party needs to pack the court to prevent these fascists from getting into the Supreme Court, I think that's the way to go.
that's so
That's
true.
definitely the approved opinion.
You know, I will say, there is some hope out here. The once dominant Republican Party sort of frets that they're losing Arizona. Arizona's going blue more and more every day, and it's because when you have presidents like Trump, right, it's hard to keep smart people on your side. So Arizona is definitely going to go Joe, and they might go blue for their senator as well, right? It
Seen
just
this I've seen this doctored video going around about Arizona. Well, Biden went there and he got hardly any crowds. I
well,
mean, that
you
was
know,
definitely a doctored
it's a
video.
doctored video, and like Biden's also social distancing too. Trump with a big crowd. Remember, Trump is hosting super spreader events, not rallies. Well, Biden is hosting like lovely social distance political events. Like, I'm sorry that Biden just won't give everybody COVID and he wants to take this thing seriously.
It
Immune
shows
Trump.
Biden cares about his supporters. Trump is willing to endanger the lives of his supporters just so he looks good in front of the camera.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it is so dumb. And I'm just glad that we, for once, have some good news coming out. You know that another state is going blue, and I'm just hoping this blue wave continues, right? And some of the people
Blue
I see,
tsunami. Let's be real here, man.
yeah, the blue nami. One of these things, one of the people I see pushing for this blue wave is a comedic show. I don't know if you guys watch SNL. I've always loved SNL. It's very funny. You know, they had this hilarious thing where they mocked Mike Pence. I mean, can you believe it? This was a hilarious clip. Have you guys did you guys see the fly? Right? The
Yeah,
fly, he had a fly on his
A
head.
fly.
Did you get it? I mean, come on. This is funny stuff, guys. Guys, it's really SNL has just had such witty. They've always had such witty and sophisticated humor and comedy, and
Exactly.
it's
I
just
mean,
so
you must be
hilarious.
pretty brain dead not to understand such great humor.
I mean, yeah, flies are attracted to shit. That's the joke. I mean, gosh, it's so funny, and I'm glad SNL is they're giving some life to the situation that just really needed it. You
It
know,
brings joy in these dark, tragic times.
and we get a hilarious funny man like Jim Carrey who pretends to be the fly on his head. I mean, guys, there was a fly on Mike Pence's head. You got right? God, SNL, you crack me up every single time. The one,
Wow,
you know, I
I
just
can't believe a fly went on his head.
honestly, SNL would be such approved media if they didn't let fascists on like Bill Burr, who just sort of kowtows to the alt right, or you know, the
Give
Fly
it a
was fun.
chance, Norm. Give
Give it
it
a chance.
until Biden's president.
Yeah, I mean, once Biden's president, I'm sure everything will be okay. I mean, SNL. How could SNL get anything? They can't really get much funnier than they are now with the whole fly thing. They've kind of reached a peak, you know. You know, all that stuff. You know, we at least have something to laugh at, but there's still stuff to be worried about, especially for you now. I know obviously you're a citizen of the world, you're not a resident of the UK, but you are taking refuge in the UK right now. Are you at all
Yes.
worried
Oh,
by
I'm terrified.
that
It's
there's going to be a spike in cases? It seems.
well, Norm. It's a case of the Trump virus now. It's everywhere. You can't avoid it. No citizen of the world is safe. So, for me, as an approved journalist, desperately trying not to die every day, I don't leave my house. I mean, I get my colleagues to bring me food,
Hmm.
and essentially now I just stay in my room every day writing articles, hoping that in what I'm not sure how long I have left. Honestly, I mean, this Trump virus is spreading so quickly. I can just hope that if I'm ever to just one day vanish from the face of the world, that my articles will save thousands of lives.
Yeah, I hope. I really hope. And it's, you know, this story here is that, you know, what's happened in the UK is worse than we thought. You know, there was they aren't testing enough people to even know how many people are infected. I mean, for all we know, billions of people could have the coronavirus right now. You know,
Exactly.
there's nothing to stop. Billions of people might have it. It's that infectious. I mean, if you're scared of what you see on the news right now, just wait, guys, because it's much worse than what you're already seeing. I mean, you should be 20 times more scared.
If we just use maybe some variation of the poll integrity saving system to just kind of gauge the real numbers as to how many people are infected.
Yeah. The next story confused me a lot. I mostly just put it in here because I know we got people like Laura Andy and stuff who watch this show and who are always looking for stock news. Apparently, you know, the stocks will probably not rise. Will probably rise no matter who wins the presidential election. And this just can't be true, right? How is this possible? You'd think that obviously they'd go down with Trump and up for Biden, but this article here from USA Today is saying it doesn't matter. I do wonder where that comes from. I don't know. It almost makes you feel like the stock market's rigged or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It just
I'm
seems
surprised.
bizarre because if Trump wins again, I don't see how it's going to improve.
Yeah.
Biden cares about the American people, cares about the economy, cares about everything in this country, and he will do whatever it takes to get rid of this virus and restore the economy. Trump's not doing any of that.
Yeah, I'm calling it right now. If Trump wins and the stock market goes back up, I'm protesting. I'm going to Occupy Wall Street too. You know, I'm gonna get out my tents. And if anyone wants to join me, just join me on Wall Street. It's pretty easy to find in New York. Just ask any taxi driver; they'll take you there. Just join me on Wall Street. Bring your tents. Bring some marijuana cigarettes, whatever you got. And just remember, we are the 99%, right? And we got to stand for what you believe in. Fight the power. See you guys all on
I'll
Wall Street.
have a hazmat suit on and fly over there.
Yeah, I know it might be a little dangerous with the COVID virus, guys, but remember, if
No, the Trump virus.
the Trump virus, my bad. Just remember, guys, if you're doing something that really matters, the Trump virus can't get you. You'll be fine. You know, it's like there's so like what we said earlier in the show. There's protections from the sort of magical aura, right, of protests and of BLM that will protect you from this virus. So I think Occupy Wall Street 2 is definitely a go. I can't wait to see you all there with your tents.
I mean, it's like when BLM protests. No one gets the Trump virus there. I'm sure if we're to do it, we'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, yeah, because we know how to do it safely. I think that's the thing that really
Exactly.
matters.
It's like you look at Blump's rallies. There's no safety there.
You know, I think it's hard to really be able to really track the numbers because Florida recently added, and Florida, if you guys live in Florida, I'm telling you guys, batten down the hatch, close down your bunker, get under cover here because they recently added 5,000 cases of COVID in one day. And there was some duplicate tests or something to hold the report, but that's just because they don't want these numbers to get out there. So that's why we're reporting on it, guys. 5,000 people got COVID in one day in Florida, and if the test got done twice, what's the big deal? They just means they're doubly sure.
They're just checking. I mean, what's there to be concerned about there?
Yeah, I mean, when has the government ever wanted to lie to you?
Well, Trump's government does, but
No, yeah, I meant the Democratic government, of course.
oh, never, never, never.
And this is we're talking about lies. I think there's no better sort of spinner of just crap than Vladimir Putin.
Oh, be careful with his name. Jessica can get anxiety
Yeah, I
overloads
don't.
from it.
Okay,
It's one of my
Vlad.
trigger
Can I
words.
say Vlad?
Yeah, that'll be acceptable. Thank you.
Okay, Vlad here, right? Came out in support of of the Democrats, which is deeply confusing because, as far as I'm aware, we've done so many court hearings on this. Trump almost got impeached for this. There is Russian collusion, right? Trump likes Russia, so I don't know why Vlad is doing this. I think this must be some sort of 4D chess thing, don't you think? Or
Just doesn't make sense to me why you would be supporting the Democratic Party.
what do you think? Daddy Putin no longer supports Trump? Like, what could Trump have made him mad somehow?
He makes
Oh,
everybody mad, so
Oh,
it's a
interesting.
possibility.
but maybe this is a plot on Vlad's part here. Maybe he's trying to trick people into kind of being a bit confused because obviously, I mean, who would expect Vlad to come out with support of Biden of all people, unless he just acknowledges just how popular and charismatic Biden is.
Yeah, I think that's the whole thing where it's like it seems to me like this is some sort of a Russian troll. I mean, the Russians are known to have these troll farms. For all we know, Vladimir Putin personally works in these troll farms. It's likely that this is some sort of 4D chess troll thing where their goal is to confuse the American people, make them think that the Democrats' goals line up with the Russian goals, which is just all Red Scare stuff anyway. So, yeah, if Putin tells you something, I'm not going to believe it, is all I'm going to say. Putin is a lot like Trump in that regard. We just can't listen to anything they say. Whether it's true or whether it agrees with us, it doesn't matter. They're,
Should be completely disregarded.
yeah,
Never
just
listen to
don't
it. Just
even
tossed in the trash.
toss it in the trash. Exactly. You know, do you want to hear something else that should be tossed in the trash?
Go on.
Republican ballots, right?
Yeah, we don't need them.
We don't need
Destroy them,
them.
burn them.
And Republicans are doing everything they can to like mess up this whole of mail-in voting thing. They've been setting up these fake voting boxes, and these were not properly sanctioned. They were unauthorized ballot drop-off boxes in California, and it's extremely problematic. There's no other way to put it. This is sort of a homegrown election meddling, which you don't see very often, but this is a classic example of voter fraud done by the Republicans. And I don't know if these things could just be paper shredders, for all we know. Like, who knows where those ballots are going to go? Who knows what
Right.
they're going to? Who knows if they're going to change them? We can't trust our system if it's being run by our enemies, our opponents. We
Trump
need
said there was mail-in fraud, and it turns out that the mail-in fraud is from the Republicans.
exactly, exactly. I mean, this is just we could get 100 cases of Republicans screwing with the mailing system in the voting system. They know that mail-in voting is gonna get Biden elected. But
We, we we need someone needs to tell Biden this like fast because this is unacceptable.
I emailed this to Biden and his people. I really hope that they get back to me. Again, if any of the Biden, if you're Biden's campaign manager, if you could please reply to my emails. I know that I send a lot, but that's just because I care a lot. Okay, I've been tweeting at you too, Biden. I've been DMing the team there. They haven't really replied yet, but if you guys get back to me, I'd really appreciate it. I know I really want to get Biden on the show before the election, but we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see. I know that's sort of
Joe Biden, if you're watching this, please join us on the show. It'll be an honor to have a hero such as yourself on.
yeah, an American hero. You know,
He's
it's
still taking us for ice cream, right?
I think yeah, I think Joe is still down for ice cream. Yeah,
Jessica, you should definitely come with us. Like, if Joe Biden wins, we're going for ice cream.
yeah.
I,
Vegan.
I, if it's a non-dairy ice cream, I will join you. But if
Yes,
it's dairy,
it's
then
it's non-dairy. Last time I checked.
okay, awesome. Then I will attend.
Yeah, and Joe Biden is a smooth guy, right? So during the debate, some people were getting at him because they said, "Oh, people were getting at him. They're saying Biden and Harris they dodge questions." No, they didn't dodge questions. They just kind of evaded them. That's typical for anybody. If you think a question is pointless, you don't have to answer it.
Sea lining at its finest.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that CNN is reporting on this. Like, is CNN alt right now? I don't even know if we can still approve them. That they're reporting that Joe Biden is, that they're dodging questions about the Supreme Court. when it's like these are not warranted questions. These can't be approved. I don't know who their editor is there right now, but they need to step it up. Dan Murica. Dan Murica is not an approved journalist anymore. Goodbye,
Yeah, we'll get Dustin to take him off the
Dan.
approved journalist list.
Yeah. We were talking about mail-in ballots, and mail-in ballots has done one awesome. We've been able to actually get the results ahead of time, so we're able to make predictions. So we got more than 7 million general election ballots that have been cast so far. And do you know who's in the lead right now?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. As far as I'm concerned, Joe Biden's already won, right?
Oh yeah. That's 7 million votes. It just already goes to show. I mean, I'm guessing like what 70 to 90% of them were in favor of Biden.
Yeah, I didn't read the article. I think something like that, right? We can just assume at this point. I have to wonder, like, what's the point of even continuing with all this malarkey? Let's just call this election early and just be done with this nonsense, right?
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Do we really need to do this? I mean, it's obvious. We already know who's going to win.
Yeah, and while we're at it, why don't we just start casting our ballots for 2024 Biden Harris or just Harris, whatever. Re-election tickets. Why don't we just start casting them? Because it will just make it all go much quicker. I mean, we all know who we're going to vote for. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years before the election. Why do we even need to vote anymore? Just need to mark that we're Democrats or centrists, and they'll just assume we're going to vote for the next guy or the next girl, through the future.
Or what if they're not a guy or a girl?
Or the next person. Whatever we got to do. I mean, Jessica, who are you voting for in 30 years?
Most likely Democrat.
See?
I don't think I'll ever vote Republican. So if I was able to mark myself as Democrat, then it saves me the hassle of filling out a ballot.
Or even
They
like
know who I'm going to vote for.
even watching the news, right? All you have to do is just kind of roll into it.
Exactly.
I think it's definitely the future for sure. But that concludes the recent news segment. Stick along here, where we're gonna slam Jessica with some difficult questions. Really, really hold Jessica to task here. See you then.
Hello, comrades, and welcome to the guest segment where we're going to rack Jessica's brain with some very intense questions. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, Jessica, what kind of struggles do you face as a person of size?
I face a lot of struggles. I think the most clear and obvious one is bullying. I get bullied constantly for my size, which is ridiculous in my opinion. I mean, we live in 2020 now. I don't think anybody should be discriminated. I get all sorts of comments from people outside, or even in like Discord servers. Many people send me hate mail, and it's just upsetting. And another thing that I think oppresses people's size is sometimes I'll be heading over to the local vegan restaurant, and I'll see people in the gym and they're
Oh, no.
exercising. Yeah, they're exercising. I feel like it really oppresses me as somebody who just
Do they not, like, notice you walking by? I mean, that's really offensive.
I know it just makes me sad.
I had heard you had a lawsuit against Sizzlers for false advertisement. How did that end up going for you?
I lost that lawsuit. I really thought I had a shot, but turns out I did not have the money for an attorney.
Should have
So
got lawyer Andy on this.
Yeah, you'd think.
I should have, but I felt like I could have handled the case myself, but it ended up not going well for me, which is ridiculous. How am I supposed to know that there was fine print on the bottom? They never told me there was a limit or that I would have to leave.
I mean, that's just another part of the capitalist agenda. I mean, to limit Jessica there, that's oppression.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
But on to the next question. Obviously, with the whole Trump virus thing going around, Jessica, what is it you miss most since we have to now work from home and we can no longer go to the journalist office?
What I miss the most is bringing my my vegan snacks in for everybody to have during our lunch break.
Yeah, one thing I want to say is there never did seem to be any left when we got to them, but I'm sure they were good.
Right.
Just because they were
I'm
so
sorry
yummy.
for that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's fine.
So, I mean, I rarely had them. They were all gone usually by the time I got there. But
But
well, when I got
we
one, they were
appreciated it.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we really appreciate it. I think that's what I
the
missed at the
sentiment
office
was
too.
the sentiment was there.
Yeah, is it true that you're going to be starting an OnlyFans as a way to help monetize yourself during this COVID virus?
Yes, that was one thing I have considered doing, and I think I'll have my OnlyFans set up shortly. And then if anybody wants to subscribe to my OnlyFans, you can just send me a DM, and I'll let you know when I have it all set up.
That's good. And are you going to be doing? Are you going to be a non-sexual OnlyFans user, or what's the plan?
Yes, not non-sexual.
Good. I'm glad we're seeing more
I,
people use OnlyFans for non-sexual stuff.
Content then would you put on your OnlyFans?
I'm sorry, what was your question, Neville?
So what kind of things would you put on your OnlyFans then? I mean, we had a Universe man who would he puts on pictures of his dogs on his OnlyFans.
I think for my OnlyFans, I would like to start by sharing photos of vegan food that I make.
Oh,
Oh, your recipes as well.
Right, and I'll share my recipes too.
It's a
that'd be
shame.
fun.
I've not had one of your vegan burgers since the whole Trump virus thing kicked off.
I know. When we get back to the office, I'll have to make vegan burgers for everybody.
We'll have to have a vegan queue, you know.
Oh, you
Yeah,
can bring them over when Joe Biden comes over for ice cream.
that sounds good. I should do that.
I really hope he doesn't flake on us for this ice cream thing.
No, do you really expect Joe Biden to flake on the ice cream
No,
thing?
I don't, man.
On to the next question now. Jessica, I'm been afraid of you in the bedroom.
I wouldn't know, as I have never been able to get a man in the bedroom. I don't know why, unless the men that I have encountered are sizist, you know, or transphobic. I don't see why. I'm a beautiful woman. I think, and I don't see why any man would not want to be in the bedroom with me.
Yeah.
That is classic sizeism right there.
I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to be in the bedroom with you, Jessica. However, I can't. I am. I can't. But I wouldn't be afraid to, right? What'd you have for lunch before we were filming? Just out of curiosity.
I had several vegan burgers. Uh,
Several.
yeah, about four.
Um, that's nice.
That sounds like a light snack for you, Jessica.
Yeah. Anything else or just the burgers?
That was about it. I think for dinner I'm gonna make a vegan pizza.
Mm, I could go for a vegan pizza right now.
Okay, if Amy Barrett gets on the Supreme Court, what rights as a woman of size do you think you could lose?
Um, I think one of the main rights, as just a woman in general, I think I discussed this earlier, is that she'll probably ban abortions. And as a woman of size, I feel like she would make exercise mandatory, and I don't
Yeah.
think that's a good idea.
I mean, that was one of
That's one of my worst fears.
mhm. That was one of the few things that Michelle did wrong. Was Michelle was really fat phobic. I mean, for all of her amazing qualities,
Right.
she was a little fat phobic. Who do you think won the VP debate? Biden or Harris?
I think Harris won.
Harris won. Yeah, I think Harris won the VP debate too. It seemed pretty obvious. It,
Right.
and Mike Pence had a fly in his head, so like,
Right. And
uh,
like you said earlier, flies are attracted to feces. So
yeah,
it really shows who Mike Pence is as a person.
yeah, it says a
It
lot about
just like at that point, it was just over.
him. It was
That fly was the nail in the coffin.
oh,
I mean,
for sure.
Harris was schooling him.
Well, thank you for coming on here, Jessica. We really enjoyed having you. We're going to see everyone else here in the next segment. Stories we want to discuss. Looking forward to it.
Thank you for coming
Oh,
on, comrade.
it's no problem. Thank you for having me.
It's no worries. Just I hope you have a good dinner. Make sure to leave room for second desserts and what have you.
Enjoy
I
those
will.
vegan pizzas.
Welcome to the stories we want to discuss. We're going to start off today's segment with something a little different. We tend to be a pretty news-forward podcast. We put the news in front of anything. We don't editorialize. But today we're going to start off with our own coming out because we think it's pretty big news. Nev came out this week. I came out this week. And we just kind of want to talk about it, if that's all right with you. So, Nev, are you willing to talk about sort of what you came out as?
Oh, hold on. Let me get Che for a moment.
Yeah. Take your time. It's okay.
Okay, I have Che, my safe space. Whatever you want to call it, teddy bear, stuffed animal. But it was hard, Norm.
Hey, it's okay.
It was really, really, really hard. I am a gamer.
What?
This has been an addiction that I've struggled with for some time. I've mainly kept it to myself. I've told a few people, but I felt so ashamed. I felt so
It's gonna
ashamed.
be okay.
I remember one
It's gonna
time
be okay.
I was doing some investigative journalism. It was the time I told you I ran over that POC woman who was possibly trans in Grand Theft Auto. It invoked some evil in me, and I got hooked. I can't stop. I can't stop playing.
Okay. We might need to have Nev in a re-education facility for a little while. He might not be on the next show. So just know, if you don't see Nev for a little while, we're going to be teaching him and re-educating him.
I'll tell you about the re-education camp when I return.
Yeah, you really should. So now Nev came out as a gamer, which isn't too good. We aren't very happy about that. There's going to be a lot of struggles in the office, but I actually had a coming out that I think we can celebrate, right? I'm tired of lying. I'm a witch.
Can we have jazz hands, please? That's a very brave accomplishment.
Here we go. Yeah, so I'm a witch. That's the new news, and I'm here to cast spells. I'm here to take down fascists. I'm here to do whatever we have to do to get it done, and I'm proud. I'm proud of what I got to do. I just gotta say, I'm not a warlock.
I think it's brave that you're breaking gender roles like that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are acting like I'm a warlock because they say I'm a man. I'm not a man. I'm a witch. So get over it. I'm gender neutral. I'm non-binary.
Yeah, we'll be forced to have Norm cast a spell on anyone who comes and attacks Norm for being a witch.
Of course, get on me. I got my spells ready. You're gonna get destroyed if you try to make fun of me in the comments. Don't make fun of me in the comments. I absolutely can't stand mean comments. People they said, "Oh, you broke your monitor." You know why I broke my monitor? Because my psychic energy was getting so powerful that it just disrupted in space-time.
Oh, no, I'm going to have to ask you to calm your psychic powers now. I think Che was floating for a moment there, ever so slightly.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you. I was just a bit scared for a moment there.
Yeah, that's scary. But do you want to know what's really scary, Nev?
What else is scary on?
Homophobia.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's times at night where I just can't sleep because I think about homophobic people and how bigoted they are.
Yeah, Well, who recently came out as homophobic? Amy Comey Barrett. She used a deeply offensive homophobic slur known as sexual preference. And you might not know that sexual preference is a slur, but it is. It's deeply offensive as of very recently. And it's just time you got to update your vocabulary, bigots. We just can't put up with this anymore. It's just gross that we'd have somebody like this who's...
It's 2020.
Right? It's 2020.
This is despicable. It's physically nauseating.
And it's what's more despicable to me is that people are just letting her get away with it. They're saying, we've always said sexual preference will get up. They used to call black people the N-word. That doesn't make it okay. Words change in meaning when we say they change in meaning. And you just kind of have to accept it. It's just one of those things that when we say words change its meaning, you just got to believe us. Don't question. It's really that simple. Right? It's really that simple. Fine. I can already see the comments now. You're saying, wait, how is sexual preference, bigoted or whatever? There's multiple reasons. One, it's not a preference. It's not a choice. You're born with it. The other thing is it's actually a deeply transphobic phrase. You're not allowed to have preferences because you might say, for example, that you have a quote-unquote preference to, not date trans people. But that's transphobic, right? You need to just accept if a trans person likes you, you have to like them back. I mean, those are just the rules. And there's these ideas you can have a preference. It's just gross. You know, let's update our definitions. Preferences just shouldn't be allowed. You just have to agree with what everyone else agrees with. And it's really that simple, right? It's
Exactly. I mean, it's just disgusting. I mean, as a transphobic person, I can imagine that Jessica would be absolutely mortified with hearing all of these disgusting, overtly fascist phrases. Quite frankly.
yeah. I mean, I know if I was her, completely mortified. I can't imagine how she must handle it. Right? It's scary. It,
Yeah, I mean, if you're deciding not to go out with someone because they're a person of trans, I mean, you're essentially one of Hitler's disciples.
yeah, very close to that at least. Very close to that at least.
Exactly. I mean, it's like the men who won't go out with women just because that woman might have a penis. I mean,
Yeah.
what kind of like bigotry is that?
God, I could not agree more. If just because a woman has a penis, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't date her. And you know, Facebook knows this. Facebook is really pushing against these sort of transphobic things. And one of the ways they're doing this is with their new initiative where they'll actually pay you to get off Twitter, you know, until the election starts. This is a really good idea because it stops these people who may become corrupted by bad ideas by the alt right, and they should definitely add an addendum where they allow you to go on pages like NNN or something. But we can work that out, right? That's all something that can be worked out.
Yeah, I mean, is this an interesting tactic on Facebook's part? I mean, I wouldn't use any money or anything. I'll just straight up just go now. Facebook doesn't need the alt right there.
Yeah, that's true. They definitely could just ban the alt right altogether. That would sort of make it a little easier on them. But I can understand where they're coming from. If they ban all the alt right, then suddenly they don't have anyone to advertise to. And that's the sort of sad reality. They are a company that makes money off advertisements. But the idea here is really sound. The idea is that, we already know you got to vote for Joe Biden. You should have already sent in your early ballot. You shouldn't even be listening to the news at this point. All that
But
matters.
don't question it. Don't look at any other sources. Just vote Biden.
And I'm glad
That's
Facebook
all you need to do.
is pushing for this whole just turn off the news and just vote. Turn up and vote. That's all you got to do.
Just turn up, vote Biden, and everything in your life that's gone a bit wrong, a bit topsy turvy, it's going to be over. Biden's going to fix everything.
Biden's going to fix everything. And I got a question for you, Nev. Here, I know I got a lot of questions for you throughout the show, but this one is particularly interesting. Do you think Biden stands up while he pees or sits down?
Oh, I believe that as obviously we know that Biden respects women.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. We know Joe. Joe knows us. We just know. Joe's just such a down-to-earth person. I mean, it's obvious to me that as someone who is a champion of women's rights, that Joe sits while he pees.
I think you're right. And the Swedish get it. We're starting to really see a good. We're starting to see a watershed moment here. The Swedish Left Party wants men to have to sit down while they pee because standing is just gross.
Can we jazz hand that? That's a great achievement right there.
That's a jazz hand. That thank you, Swedish Party. Men are gross. Standing while you pee.
Men are disgusting.
Not only will spread toxic masculinity, but it also spread the coronavirus. We don't know the Trump virus. I also think that there's an angle here that they're not covering here, where I think there's almost a layer of ableism that comes from standing while you pee. The standing while you pee, you're almost saying, "Hey, look, I can stand while I pee, and you can't because your legs don't work," and that's just not cool.
Women as well.
Yeah, and women as well. It's creating this gender.
Well, women with vaginas. Women with vaginas.
It's creating this gender peeing gap, urination gap. And it's just gross. It's transphobic. Let's break down that.
Why would you stand while you pee anyway? I mean, what do you gain from that?
Yeah, you gain really nothing. It's just gross. It's not cool. No one thinks you're cool for standing while you pee, buddy.
Yeah, like men with vaginas.
Yeah. I posted an infographic about. It's finally time that we stop this transphobic stuff and we just sit down while we pee. Sit down and shut up. How hard is that? How hard is that? For the whole life I've been sitting while I pee. It's not a big deal.
We need to design toilets where you have to physically sit on them for them to work properly.
Yeah, get rid of urinals. Urinals have always been kind of a little stupid. urinals other than like cis white hetero men, right? Like such a privileged class.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
No one needs a urinal. They should just be like taken out, just tossed in on a fire
Yeah,
or
that's a good
something.
point.
I was just gonna say, like, just burnings. I mean, we love them here. I mean, the solution to everything. If you don't like something, just burn it.
Are you saying we should burn? We should burn urinals?
Yes, of course. We should just take them all and just toss them on a fire. I mean, what can go wrong?
Yeah, I guess that's an interesting idea.
It's just, I mean, we burn books, we burn ebooks, we burn hate literature, all that kind of stuff. Why can't we just toss the urinals on as well? Just everything we don't like, just on a fire.
Yeah,
That's how we save society.
that's a really good idea. We should get that to Biden to make sure he's heard about this. So, a lot of people were wondering if we're going to cover this debate, the second presidential debate on News by Stone. We didn't because we don't think there's enough meat there. A lot of people were saying it was boring, but I don't know if boring is necessarily the right word.
It was boring when Kamala was there.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You get I think if you find something so boring, you must be afraid of strong, smart, cute, smart, intelligent women.
No. Did you just call Kamala Harris cute? Are you being mansplaining there?
Well, I'm not a man. Well, I'm not a man. Joe,
Oh yeah, never mind. My bad.
It's okay. So we just have this thing. Kamala completely crushed this debate. I think there was, they're smart. They put up plexiglass. They could have put up bulletproof glass because I mean, who knows what Mike Pence could do? I mean, the guy's crazy.
Well, she should have wore a mask as well. I mean, if I was near Pence, like the smell. I mean, we saw that flyer land on his head.
For sure. I think Pence definitely gets. And Harris showed off her sort of naturally charismatic self. I mean, she was sassy. Everybody loves the sort of way that she presented herself.
Exactly. I mean, we've had people call her condescending, even, please forgive me for saying this, bitchy. But it's clear to me she was just so charismatic, so charming, so wonderful in every facet. Obviously, the alt-right's going to be intimidated by that.
Yeah, I mean, to call her anything like that's just crazy. You see this all the time, where you get these people, and they try to present these quotes. Like, Pence is basically this line. He's saying, I want the American people to know that from the very first day, Donald Trump...
we fact-checked that. That is false.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that Pence says is going to be false. We don't have to even get into details on this. Well, here we got a great, beautiful woman like Kamala who's slamming on healthcare, basically saying if you got a pre-existing condition, heart disease, diabetes, breast cancer, they're coming for you, or someone you love. And this is powerful stuff, guys. They're coming for you and your own. This election's about protecting your family, and that's what's at
I can't
stake
imagine
here.
how Jessica must feel right now. I mean, she's got a fair few pre-existing conditions. I mean, Trump must be having a headhunt on her right now.
Oh, for sure. It's scary. But as scared as we are of this, things get worse, right? You're speaking of scary. Recently, it came out that there were this armed militia guarding the outside of a Planned Parenthood. Can you believe this? This is an absolutely crazy story. That these militia members, they surrounded this Planned Parenthood with pepper spray, and apparently they were attacking people who just were going in. And who knows why those people were going in, right? This is just a classic example of terrorism, right? And this is just, I mean...
Full of terrorists.
These people are terrorists. There's no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's so obvious that they're terrorists. Like, what else would they be? Kill somebody. And, they could get... Somebody could get killed. Somebody could get really hurt. Really dangerous.
These people need to be locked up and arrested for, mansplaining and oppressing women.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Jessica, she goes there like, once, twice a month, something like that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Imagine if these people denied Jessica this essential service.
Yeah, she'll go there all the time for, recreational abortions or whatever, and that's her right as a trans woman.
Why would you push against that? I mean, that's tyrannical.
It is tyrannical. It's a perfect example of fascism.
It's only a clump of cell. It's not a real person.
Yeah, exactly. But who are a real person? This is sort of the ironic part. All of these people who act as though so high and mighty about life, they're often the ones who will end up endangering a person's life, just simply because they're trying to, fight for some clump of cells that doesn't matter. I mean, they care more about these small, not really people than they do real people. They're willing to attack these people with pepper spray and what have you. It's so bad. It's awful that these sort of thugs are able to take over these places. We really shouldn't allow this. This next story, we've talked about this before, but Megan said,
brave, independent, powerful woman.
I'm told I'm the most trolled person in the world. What do you think about this, Nev? Do you think that's accurate? I mean, she's not a journalist, right? But what do you think?
I'd argue that Dustin Levitt maybe is the most trolled person in the world, or Joe Biden.
I mean, when we had the 12,000 person Discord, we did have trolls coming in 24/7 to sort of attack Dustin.
Yeah, I would argue Dustin is the most trolled. But Megan comes close. I mean, she's a POC woman that already gets us some the trolls' attention in terms of harassment.
Yeah, and I think the Queen is partially to blame here. I mean, she's so bigoted that she cut out a POC, heir, right? Like, aren't they?
Yeah, well, she's a fascist. The Queen is a fascist.
This is really, guys. Look at her. Look at Megan. This is what oppression looks like.
I heard as well, like from an anonymous source, that apparently when the Queen was younger, she was a member of the Hitler Youth.
Jesus, that's enlightening information. Do you have anything more to talk about that? Like, do you know any more?
So, yeah, what would happen is, as a young woman, she would pay visits to obviously the Reich at the time, and she would go to Hitler rallies and so on, do the salute. I mean, it was terrible. The anonymous source, it's a royal insider. Obviously, I can't say much more than this. They were physically trembling and shaking, and I could hear them crying in the tears when they were telling me about the pictures they had. Apparently, there's a royal gallery with the Queen with a picture of Hitler in it. I mean, can you believe that?
What? That's some eye-opening information.
The worst part is nobody's reporting on this.
No one.
And I mean, this is why NNN News right now, we are the leading source of unbiased, inaccurate information.
Yeah.
I mean, what of us, not even NPC Daily, CNN, MSNBC, none of them are reporting on this. They don't have this news at the moment.
See, this is why
we are the first to know.
We're the first. Jeez. This really scares me. Is there any way that maybe Meghan can become the new queen or something? Is that possible at all, Nev? Do you know? Is that possible?
I think that
can we make an exception, maybe?
I hope so. I mean, we all know that eventually the socialist utopia is on the horizon. So by that point, I'm just hoping that all the old white males and the people nobody likes, of course, they're just kind of shrugged aside, and in their place, Meghan comes on, and she takes over. I mean, that's what we want. I mean, who wouldn't want Meghan Markle as their queen? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, you guys over in Palmy Land have all these royal struggles. We have struggles of our own and stories that repeat themselves. For the second time, and I'm pretty sure this is the second time, we had a white woman call the police on a black man who's just bird watching. I mean, this is the second time this happened. This was in Central Park. I mean, can you believe this? It just seems so crazy to me that this white woman would have the gall.
Was it a POC bird watching?
Yeah, it was a POC. It was a black man. It was a black man, and it was a mostly peaceful bird watching. And I don't know why this is turning into this big news story. You'd really think that by now we would figure it out, and we would just take the phones away from white people, so they don't deserve the right to call the police.
No. Maybe white women, ones that recognize that obviously as a white person they need to do more. They need to be an ally to POC causes. But the ones who don't know, like the Trump supporting ones, they don't need that. They're already at the top of the hierarchy of the oppression hierarchy. They don't need it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at this woman's clearly a Trump supporter. I mean,
exactly.
It couldn't be more obvious. I don't know. I just think that at this point, she got fired for this, and obviously
that's good news. We can celebrate.
She should have been double fired. She should be blackballed. She should never be able to work again. I mean, when you make a mistake like this and when you call the police, you should get in trouble. It's really just that simple. We should no longer make people feel like they're able to just call the police when when they have a problem, right? Because this is just, it's racist, it's problematic, it's just not okay.
Exactly. I mean, they don't deserve the right to own a phone or contact the police. I mean, well, the police shouldn't exist in the first place. Let's get that thing straight.
Oh, for sure, for sure. If this was a community policing
I mean, this is
thing,
what community policing would
we
stop,
would
right?
they would
We
not
would
have come out for
fully
this, right?
no
The
way.
community police gets a call about this, they hang up, right? Because they understand this is a bunch of malarkey and it should just be ignored. And of course, the other people who should have their right removed are the St. Louis couple who sort of were toting guns on their front lawn. I'm sure everyone remembers the picture. He had a
Oh, that
automatic
brought me
weapon.
nightmares.
She had a pistol. I don't know if they have the picture in this article, but I'm sure you've all seen it. So the two of them pled not guilty to 2 felony charges. And I don't
They're
even.
guilty. Just throw them away.
They should just submit to the judgment at this point. I know they came out and said, "Oh, we're BLM supporters now" or something, but that's such a flaccid support. Like we all know where your true opinions
If
lie.
they were, they would have spent the last couple of weeks, months or so just giving their reparations away, donating to BLM and other PLC causes.
It really, I mean, just look at their skin color.
Yeah, they're guilty. You can just tell.
I mean,
Yep. I mean, the paler the skin, the more guilty they are.
oh, for sure. And we have a sort of somewhat regular segment on the show. I like to call it Checking In with Kim, where we go to our favorite leader in Kim Jong Un, and we just check in on what he's doing, see how he's doing. Kim takes a lot of flack. A lot of people don't like him for whatever reason. I don't understand.
That wonderful person. I mean, have you ever met him?
Not in person, though.
Oh, I have.
Really?
Remember when I told you a while back about the Journalist Excellence Worldwide trip to North Korea?
Yeah, I recall.
Yeah, fortunately the team there, we were able to meet Kim Jong Un in person. We were able to speak to him. Fortunately, that we were, I don't know why, but they didn't want like cameras or anything in the room at the time. Guessing it was a safety precaution in case of doctored images, in case any one of us was actually an alt-right troll or a bad actor. But yeah, I mean, it was great. We had lunch together. It was wonderful. I mean, such a charming person. I can understand why they love him so much over there.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand. Every North Korean citizen I've spoken to, I've read anything from, they seem to all be in complete love with him.
I mean, what reason do you think that is? Obviously, it's because he's a great policymaker.
Yeah.
He's charismatic. He's kind.
It's obvious that everyone in his country loves him because he's such an amazing policy.
And he's a person of size as well.
And I don't know what these. What I understand is that these South Koreans, they seem to be making trouble with Kim all the time. Like, what's the big deal? He just seems like a nice North Korean, and the South Koreans seem to be mad about some sort of a land dispute or something. And now they're making big deal of everything. So Kim Jong Un is throwing a parade. And we don't know what the parade was for. I mean,
exactly.
It could have been a pride parade.
If we didn't, did we get footage from this parade?
We got a picture, which I think is a pretty good enough, right?
Yeah. Well, an image doesn't prove anything. It could easily have been a pride parade.
It could be a big missile or like a rocket or something, but we don't know. That could be anything. Who knows necessarily what it is, but it came very close to coming out day.
I mean, yeah, it could have been anything. We're not quite sure.
I really think this is a great example of just Kim showing pride for his sort of, his gay affair with Donald Trump, and the South Koreans want to fight back against that because they're afraid. They're afraid of a strong person like Kim showing off, and it never makes any sense to me. It really is thought, right?
Yeah, this is clearly a display of bigotry from South Korea. It's like I'm pretty sure they have a homophobic society. So yeah, they're just intimidated. They're just scared.
Yeah.
They acknowledge how progressive Kim Jong Un is.
They really do. It's sad. It's really sad. That see, I just wish that they would take over South Korea. I mean, then we could have one full Korea, one Korea together. But instead, you have the South Koreans keep on making problems, and that sort of concludes the stories we want to discuss. Join us in the Great Debate, and I know the Great Debate always has some problems, but we're gonna figure it out.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah, we'll see you there. Stay strong, guys. Welcome to the Great Debate segment. we hate this segment. It's our least favorite segment because it means we have to give a platform to these hateful, bigoted trolls. This week we have Eric, and I don't know if that's his real name. He has a profile picture of Eric Cartman, so I think he's just a role player.
Boo.
Boo, right? Come on, Stinky. We got Eric.
I'd like for everyone in the audience at this point to just type boo in the chat.
Yeah, let's get a boo in the chat for Eric. You know, as always, we got Nev here debating Eric, and it's going to be pretty easy for Nev. But let's start here with the first question, and we're going to start with you, Nev. Can fat people be healthy?
Well, obviously, yes, of course. What kind of question is that? And you can be healthy at any size whatsoever. All of the approved science is in favor of that. And quite frankly, if you say otherwise, you are a science denier.
Yeah. Okay, that's good work there. What do you think there, Eric?
Well, what about diabetes and heart attacks?
Hey, Eric, it's been shown those have no links. So can you talk about this without bringing up fake information, please?
Okay. What about COVID? Yeah, your immune system is working overtime.
That's another lie.
It's another lie. It's funny. You guys I know you're alt-right, Eric. Okay, you don't have to tell me that you're not. It doesn't matter. Alt-right people like you always deny COVID until it's convenient for them. And it's just disgusting.
All right.
Okay. Next question.
Shame.
Next question here. Question 2. Do you think that the rumors about Kim and Trump are true? We'll start again with you, Nev.
Well, I'm not quite sure, honestly, on this one. I mean, there is kind of circumstantial evidence, but I'm not really sure. I can't really comment a whole lot on this one.
Okay. That's a really refined, intelligent position. Okay, Eric, let's see what you think.
What rumors are you talking about? I'm not sure I follow.
What rumor? I mean, the rumors that they're gay for each other.
Are you crazy?
No, we're not crazy. I mean, there's a ton of evidence that's been coming. I mean, they send love letters. We check in with Kim.
It's in the realm of possibility. I mean,
it really is.
I mean, are you homophobic, Eric?
I'm not homophobic.
Are you homophobic?
I think you're homophobic.
Are you anti-gay?
I mean, why are you against this beautiful connection between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un?
Because there's no evidence. I mean,
there's plenty of. Just watch the show and you'll see the evidence. We check in with Kim every week.
If you watch our previous podcast, we did talk about this on the show. I mean, are you kind of just are you ignorant?
No, you guys are just crazy.
No, you're clearly just ignorant.
Look,
Question 3.
Don't use the word guys either. That's gendered language. We don't do that here.
Yeah. Question 3. Since Trump, forfeited the second debate, does this mean that Biden just automatically just won it?
Yes.
Now we'll go with you. Yeah.
Yes. That's all there is to it. Yes. Trump doesn't even deserve to be in the race anymore. This point, Biden wins.
When we say won it, I mean we mean win the election, right? Not just won that second debate.
Oh yeah. Biden just wins automatically. It's not even a contest anymore. Okay, I mean, we'll see the election results. It's going to be a blue tsunami. The whole country's going to be blue.
So, Eric, you agree with us, right?
I don't agree with that. I don't think that's fair or constitutional at all. I mean, he had COVID, or he has COVID, so
Jesus Christ, Eric. Eric, do you ever want to be on the show again?
No, not really. You guys are stupid.
Okay, Eric. Well, with
that attitude, we have incredibly high IQs. How dare you come on the show and insult us?
With that attitude, you're not going to be on the show again, Eric. You are banned from this show.
I'm so happy.
Bye. Thank you for coming.
Let me add Eric to the ban list.
Okay, thanks, now.
This is why we can't have nice things. It's people like Eric that come on, they harass and discriminate against us.
Yeah,
they can't handle the truth.
That's the debate segment. It's awful. I hate it. I'll see you guys in the Trump watch, which usually isn't very much any better. So, more sad times ahead. See you guys there. Welcome to the Trump watch. And I think we obviously have to start this off by saying, Trump had COVID, but now he doesn't. So, I don't know what the case was. Was it true? Was he lying? Is he immune now? Who knows?
I think he was lying.
It's totally possible. Who knows? I mean, that could easily be it. You see somebody like Trump, they're looking for any excuse to get out of this. We'll talk about it a little later. Well, to start off the Trump watch, we we're learning this that apparently Trump doesn't want to debate Biden, like you were saying. The October 15th debate, so that was actually today, the day we're filming. Uh, Trump canceled it because he refuses to go on a virtual debate, and I don't know why. Is he afraid he's going to get muted or something?
I mean, did you see what happened last time? And Biden he mopped the floor with him. I mean, there was times I was watching that. I was like, Biden, stop! He's already dead.
I mean, yeah, it's obvious that Biden won the first debate, but by a landslide, which for me just means Biden's definitely going to win the election. It's obvious. Trump knows it, and Trump doesn't even want to spend any more time on election. Trump's done with the election. But
I mean, we've got approved sources like the Young Turks recently. They said that it's over for Trump. It's finished now. It's over.
Yeah, he's done. Exactly. He doesn't want to do this virtual debate too because he probably was planning on sneaking giving Biden COVID or something. Like who knows? Who knows the real reason?
Exactly. I mean, look, how evil is that to blackmail Biden?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what? I have to wonder here. Instead of doing debates, they're going to do quote unquote town halls. So essentially, what this is both candidates are going to go to a town hall. They're going to have to answer a bunch of questions. And this sort of a format that kind of sort of fairly favors the Trumper because I know Trump has this whole rally thing. He likes to have these super spreader events. It feels like this is not a really fair way to do it. So NBC has sort of faced backlash on this, which I think it's completely reasonable. But I still do look forward to hearing Biden sort of give these talks.
Who wants to listen to him speak anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, nobody I know wants to hear his disgusting, vile voice.
Exactly. I guess the silver lining, though, is the Biden will get the chance to speak at these as well, and that's going to be pretty awesome. I hope we hear stories like the corn pop or any of those classic Biden stories.
I mean, there's no malarkey going to be at Biden's time.
Oh, for sure, no malarkey at all. It's all going to be facts and information and getting information across that really changes people's minds. I mean, I think that's what Biden
any
means to get Biden elected.
As journalists and protectors of America and the world, we have to save it. We need to elect Biden.
We have to do whatever we can to elect Biden. It's our duty. The main idea I want to get across is that if you vote for Trump, you're voting for the end of the world. I mean, a vote for Biden is a vote for a future. Trump is the devil. He's Hitler incarnate. He's all these awful things. What he wants to do is he wants to lie to you. We're gonna bring our troops home. You know what Trump did? Trump said that last election. And how many troops are home now? Right? Trump is
he probably sent more over there.
Yeah. I mean, you can't believe what Trump's saying. He's always lying to us. You can't believe a word of it. Trump starts wars all the time. I mean, just look. He starts wars with Russia. I mean, with every country conceivable, even people who we thought were allies at one point. He's a total war hawk. I mean, his entire goal is to start wars. And the fact that people don't see it.
We spoke as well about his own family doesn't even like him anymore.
No one likes him. No country likes him. No global leaders
his children
like him.
Don't like him.
Yeah.
Nobody likes him.
Of course, nobody likes him because he's a piece of crap. The only person in the world might like Trump is Kim Jong-un, and I don't even know why.
No, that sounds like a horrible existence,
I don't know. I really don't know. And Trump talks about bringing troops home, but you just have to know he's lying to you. The reality is that he's giving more troops in. We just can't believe anything he says because he's made these promises before, and they didn't come through. We just have to go against what he says.
Trump doesn't care about anyone but himself. Let's be honest here with the viewers.
Trump is self-centered. He's a bigot. He's a loser. And we just need to get rid of. It's hard. It's hard to read these things.
What is it, Mom?
Somehow it seems like Trump pulled ahead in the election, and I don't know how this is happening. I don't know.
No, what? What?
don't know.
What?
And then you got assholes like this helmet knockoff guy who says he's gonna win. What the hell, helmet knockoff? What the hell? Oh man.
No, I don't want to win again. No, he can't win again. He can't win again.
I'm gonna cut it. Okay, guys, we're back here. You know, I'm sorry about that. We had to have a little bit of a cry break to get over that. It was very traumatic, but
we're better now. We're back in
We're
gear.
back
We're
again.
ready to report on the news.
you know, we reread this stuff, and it turns out that apparently Trump wasn't actually ahead by that much. We were just a little confused. So
That won't last much longer. That lead will go within days.
Yeah.
Biden's going to take it back.
Yeah, everything's gonna be fine. You know, the real, and you know, all this helmet knockoff crap. It's all crud. The real, you know, the real political analysts here, like CNN, say that Biden will win for sure. Biden will win for sure. And I know it's different from Hillary. You know, I know they were saying the same things about Hillary, but this time they mean it, guys. We really have to believe them. And you know, why wouldn't we believe them? I mean, we got these people like CNN who are reporting on this, NNN News. You know, all of the real news sources are agreeing that there's zero chance Trump's going to win. So yeah, Biden's going to win, guys. BuzzFeed is reporting on it. Exactly. Everybody's reporting on it. So you have nothing to worry about, guys. We'll just push through this. You know, you got to just believe in the Biden plan.
What was it that NNN News correspondent said? It was like, was it 97%, 98% Biden?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was a very large percent. I mean, who knows how high it could get? Really, who knows how high the percentage could get? Joey B's going to get it. It's obvious now, to me at least. And if you're like us and you're worried, at least take solace in the fact that it's going to be okay.
Crying is a symbol of strength.
Exactly. It's okay if you cry, but you don't need to cry because we're going to move past this, guys. You know, I know it's scary now. You're looking in the mirror and you're saying, will I be able to make it another day? Am I going to make it through this?
All the real, truthful people you can trust.
You know, real journalists are telling you that Biden's going to win. You know, because we know.
I mean, look at Dustin. Dustin, now this is a bold one, but I mean, it's possible. Dustin predicted 99.5% chance
I could see
of Biden winning.
I mean, it's a big number, but Biden has that sort of momentum. Biden has that sort of grassroots support that Trump just can't get. So maybe, you know, who knows? It's going to be okay.
We can all just get an ice cream to celebrate. It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah. Start pre-ordering those ice creams now. Start pre-ordering because it's pretty much a sure thing, guys. Well, you know, one of the things that is sure also is if you go, now that Trump doesn't have the coronavirus, he's going to be hosting way more rallies. He's going to be more brazen. You know, I don't think he's going to wear a mask anymore or anything because he's saying that he's now immune. And he's
ridiculous.
Doing rallies and rallies. Well, I'll tell you this: his supporters aren't immune, and these rallies are now being called super spreader events. I saw a post on Reddit about this. But this is just a classic example of hubris, because who's to say that Trump won't get COVID too, or something
exactly?
Like that. You know, something that's
it could easily come back to him,
right?
I mean, right now he's just. I mean, if he gets it again, I mean, I can't really complain there. It's his own fault.
Yeah, and it gives him, I think there's a good case to be made that it gives him an unfair advantage during the election. And I'm glad that Twitter's taking a stand against this. They're taking a stand against Trump, whole COVID immunity BS. They've flagged one of his tweets where he says, "Hey, I'm Donald Trump and I'm immune to COVID-19." They flagged it as false. They've been violating rules about spreading misleading information.
I mean, what would we be without our brave and brilliant fact checkers who stand in the face of injustice? They're heroes. Yeah,
I mean, the Twitter fact checkers are modern day heroes. I mean, they said to Trump, "Hey, I don't like you. We're gonna put a flag on your post here that says you're wrong and you're not smart. It's really just that simple. We're gonna fact check you." And I'm really glad that Twitter's doing this. Because if Twitter doesn't do it, who's going to do it?
We journalists can't fact check everything.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got news to report.
So I'm glad that Twitter's sort of taking some of this load for us and putting some fact checks on the president. Because, I mean, you can just assume the president's lying to you. You know, whatever's happening. Eric Trump has actually just released a bombshell against his father. He doesn't even know it. He says that Trump was cured by his own vaccine.
No.
What if this means that Trump has a secret vaccine that he's not giving it to people? You know? He's keeping it for himself.
That's possible.
I mean, did he just leak that there's some sort of vaccine just for the elite or something? And, you know, why are they going to give this to the common people? You know, we need this as much as they do.
Like Joe Biden.
Exactly, like Joe Biden. Every man like Joe Biden. Why is he not allowed to have
Once Joe
vaccine?
Biden comes in, he's gonna snatch it from Blum.
Yeah,
and he's gonna give it to everyone for free.
Robin Hood. That's who Joe Biden reminds me of. Robin Hood, you know, giving the vaccine, taking it from the rich, giving it to the poor. And this vaccine, I mean, who knows what's in it? This could be adrenochrome. This could be deep state chicken blood.
Exactly, yeah.
Who knows what these guys are using? And it's just scary that there's some sort of vaccine that we don't know about, and they're going to misuse this, and it's just awful. It really is just it's awful. Now what are we going to do? And they take these officers of medicine out of context, and they completely mischaracterize them. I mean, Trump uses Fauci's name in vain in an ad. And, you know, tries to act as though he was somehow responsible for this coronavirus fix.
Exactly.
But he wasn't.
Exactly. It was all of them. I mean, I have no doubt that Obama's policies helped the coronavirus pandemic.
I mean, completely. Obama solved the coronavirus. Well, all Trump did...
Without Obama, we'd probably all be dead.
Yeah, I mean, we would. All Trump did was just take credit for what Obama did. I mean, it was Obama's policies that solved the coronavirus. I mean, if Obama was president right now, we wouldn't be having this problem. This is why we need to get rid of a term limit. Because, you know, all a term limit does is just create bullshit that we got to go through. And it's awful. It's pointless. The Taliban supports Donald Trump. Everybody supports Donald Trump. But they don't even. No, not even the Taliban will endorse Trump. I mean, when you read the article, you find out...
That means that hope for him is lost. I mean... He should right now just give Joe Biden the presidency. It's over.
It's over. You know, the Taliban doesn't endorse him. Nobody endorses him. It's over for Joey B. His family doesn't even love him. His wife wants to cuck him. No one likes him. Everybody hates him. It's awful. It's pointless to even look at him in the face as a man. I mean, yeah.
We're faces you can trust.
We're faces you can trust.
So you know that just because we do it, you can trust
You can trust us because you can trust Joe Biden. We're one and the same. Everything Trump says is a lie. You know, Trump says, you know, there's widespread voter fraud. Where, Mr. Trump? Do you know anything? BuzzFeed.com? BuzzFeed.com finally got one thing right. I kind of have a feud with BuzzFeed.com after the whole Beachfoot thing.
If BuzzFeed says it, you know that you can trust
Exactly. I mean, BuzzFeed, at least they're telling us the truth here. We got to give them a gold star. They did a good one here. You know.
Yeah, I mean, why would the Democrats do it?
Exactly. Why would the Democrats ever commit voter fraud? There's no reason for them to. You know, and the Republicans are the ones who could commit. Exactly. They're trying to commit voter fraud to save Trump. I mean, it's so obvious this is just a bunch of BS, and we just have to cut through the malarkey. I mean, that's what Joe Biden has always said. Jesus Christ. You know. There's been a number of things.
On a good note as well, the next podcast may have the final Trump watch.
Yeah.
On the show.
Yeah, you know, I'm really excited for
brilliant news.
I'm excited to be done with this. But we'll still keep on trucking, and you know, I will say we're gonna have a very special election episode. We'll give more details on it on our Facebook and everything beforehand. We're gonna have multiple guests, hopefully. It's gonna be a really big show.
And after all this is over, we'll be having it replaced by the Biden one.
Yeah, the Biden one's going to be great. It's basically just going to be ice cream and hanging out. It's going to be awesome. I really look forward to it. But it's going to be great. I can't wait. You know, there's a lot of things that happened this week with flies on heads and all that. You know, anything else now that you can think of?
North Korea may have held a pride parade.
Yeah. You know, there's a North Korean pride parade. It was just...
Also, we recommend vegan pizza.
Oh, of course, vegan pizza. It was great having Jessica on. Again, I want to thank Jess for coming. We really appreciate having you here. You know, We would love to have you again. Whatever we can do. But that's sort of, I think, for me, that marks the end of this episode. I really appreciate you all showing up here. I hope this is all okay. If there's a little bit of inconsistency with the way my mouth moves, let's stay strong. It's because some of this stuff had to be dubbed over in post
Take
production.
care,
Let's
comrades.
take
Praise
care.
Biden.